YouTube, welcome to the top 8 of the Meta Weekly, where we start this off with Galaxy Tachyon up against a Meta Sheep Mad Lad playing the #1 best deck in the game. Do we have a chance? Well, we did get to the top 8, so maybe. And what's great about the Tachyon Transmigration, even though it's the craziest card I've ever seen if you read this, where it can negate everything in the chain and everything negated in the field is returned back to the deck, it's not hard once per turn. We got double negate, and it can be used from the hand, mate, if we control a Galaxy-Eyes Tachyon Dragon. But we're going second. That is a big problem. With the Meta Sheep Mad Lad playing the best deck, they're going to have a crazy play with at least 7+ disruptions if it goes undisrupted. We do have Full Loss and Ash Blossom, though. Enough of that. Let's get ready for the duel. Thank you for watching as long as you can. I greatly appreciate that. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Let's do this. We have Ash on summon, searching for our Poplar. Poplar triggering in hand to summon, searching our deck for the Divine Temple. We're going to use the Full Loss right now. We could use Droll and Lockbird to droll ourselves after adding the Diablo Star. Well, first we have to summon and they draw a card off of it first. So from the extra deck or the deck, Ash negate the Deception of Sinful Spoils. You will not be adding the Hallowed Azamina. We have double monster negate plus negate up to 2 cards in the field non-targeting. It's also untargetable itself. We have Engrave the Promethean Princess on special summon, pop a card. We have the Masquerena to double banish. We also have an Impermanence to negate a monster and 7 disruption. Let's go. Cloud Dragon response, we're going to summon our Masquerena. Masquerena going to go into our Little Knights. Unfortunately, the Cloud Dragon needs to enter the open game state to activate. If you don't let them enter the open game state, then they have no play. Let's banish that fool away. Unfortunately, does not activate on summon, but would then be negated by Apollo anyway. We have Oak on summon to Reborn at, yeah, Andrew, don't even triple tactics out. They got the Desiree to negate. All right. This was under Droll. We ashed a Deception, and they were afflicted by Droll, and they were still able to set up this many forms of disruption. Is that okay? No, it's not. Yeah, and then the Dominus cards have the hard locks. Every deck can't use them. Galaxy Tachyon. Making a common Galaxy Tachyon play, where you do nothing turn 1. I don't know. To be fair, they're getting really unlucky. They do have a lot of turn 1 play. Like, I have to just bring this up because I'm getting annoyed. Because I bet people in the chat are incorrectly I say, thinking the deck sucks. The deck does not suck. They are getting unlucky like hail. So to go on the Galaxy Tachyon breakdown, we could see, make sure you check out that guide, by the way. We have, this is a 1-card combo. This is a 1-card combo. The Infinity Dragon's a 1-card combo. If you play Ascensions, it's a 1-card. So it's like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 1-card combos, and we just are not drawing them. We have 11, 12, 13, 14. Safer to 1-card combo also. 14 cards. And you can look at all the Galaxy Tachyon duels, and they're just not drawing them. I don't know why. They get to the top cut and then they just break. Let's go. Bonfire, searching for the Ash. We do have Valor, Maxi, and Ash. Valor on Ash is a good play. Negate. Now, you are not going to be considered to be the best deck and lose to a single Valor with a normal hand. Of course, that's not going to be the situation here. We have more plays. We do have Deception Sinful now. This Steel Magnahot's going to be banishing the Valor to activate to search for a dragon during the end phase. Sure. And then Deception Sinful, tributing off the Full Loss to get hit by Ash Blossom. You would think that they're now done. No, they can now follow up with the Tract, which we could then use Maxi against. Yes? Tract, search Lurie, discard Lurie, reborn Lurie, chain Maxi, then hopefully draw into some plays. Meta Sheep, being a Meta Sheep should just end, right? We don't play through this. We don't try to one-turn kill. What the? We're just Little Knight. That's it. Just Little Knight. Set up one form of they draw one. We have one disruption. We're going to banish away the Tachyon Transmigration, which could negate a Nibiru. So now that we know our Nibiru will not be negated, we are going to be set up and ready. Are we going to play into a Nibiru, though? Let's send the Druistorm to the grave to summon our Lubellion, triggering the Druistorm to have the Little Knight firing off to banish away the Lubellion so that they do not set up the branded Regained. I think we maybe should have set up Regained early. Another benefit of Regained is it returns Little Knight back in the extra deck, meaning that it does not come back during the end phase. Seifert, let's pop off. We're already at 2 summons. That's a problem. And we lost our Transmigration, which could have stopped the Nibiru. And we do have Call by the Grave to finger that Maxi, so we are feeling great. In fact, we are flaming on. That's how great we are feeling. Let's do it. Finger the Fool. Let's pop off. Tachyon Cloud Dragon's going to tribute itself to come forth and summon from the deck our Primal. Primal could search our deck for a 7th Tachyon. We're on the 4th summon now. Let's reveal from the extra deck to search our deck for a Spiral Dragon. Spiral Dragon will turn the Magna Hunt into a level 8. And just like that, we're on the 5th summon. Nibiru, no! Tributing off the entire field. We thought we had it. We had the Transmigration set in the back row ready to counter the Nibiru. Little Knight's back because we didn't set up the early Regain to return it back and then also draw a card. And then we had to return the Regained anyway, where the newly drawn card could have been returned instead. I guess the fear was Little Knight would not have Chain banished if there was a face-up Regained, and maybe it would have held on to its effect for later in the turn, maybe. Rosala Go, searching for the Wanted Seeker. Come to us, Diablo Star. Diablo Star send the Rosala Go. Set up into the back row our original Sinful. I don't think you need me to tell you that we don't have any forms of disruption whatsoever. The best thing we have is the opponent's token they gave us, 7,000 defense. If they, for some reason, are not able to get a Flame Burst or Doom Dragon to push it into the back row, I guess that's something, right? Let's return back in the deck. We still have our open normal summon. Poplar triggering on summon, search in our deck for the Divine Temple. Snake Eye Diablo Star can also attack to then push the token into the back row. That's another out. There are so many outs to this token, it wasn't even worth bringing up. We now have Moon of the Closed Heaven. We could also Requiem, send it to the graveyard through Engraver. Madness, absolute madness. They have an answer for everything. They have infinite plays. It's 3 to 4 decks in one. Come forth, Engraver. Requiem equip, and now the best thing about our field is gone. Let's send our back row to summon our Doom Dragon, pushing the Lubellion into the back row in case you were to have an Imperm. With over 12,000 damage on the field, Meta Sheep dominating Galaxy Tachyon. Yeah, I think Galaxy lost to itself, honestly. You didn't know. You did not beat us. We lost to ourselves. Our deck bricked. We just weren't drawing the cards we needed. So this is essentially a set 5 pass. Set 5, set 4, and then the 5th card. Wannabe is going to reveal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set a card among those 5. We needed that. Now, did the Iron Thunder have a way to negate Ash? Spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated on the field. This does not negate Ash. And the main way to counter this deck is using Ash against the Frenzy, which the Solemn Judgment nor the Thunder can stop. So that random Solemn Strike off the top of the deck needed to stop them from stopping us, from stopping them, which we're going to be floodgating them. Get ready. Only within the main phase can we activate the Frenzy. We're going to add a Snake Eye Ash. Ash on summon, search our deck, chain the Frenzy, chain the Ash, and then chain the Solemn Strike. Negate the Ash. Solemn Judgment can negate an inherent summon, spell, or trap card activation, as the Iron Thunder can negate the activation of a spell, trap, or monster effect on the field. Had we used the Iron Thunder to negate the Ash, it would have destroyed our Solemn Judgment. Not a good idea. Could have maybe wanted to use the Solemn Judgment to negate the summon of the Ash. Now, the Kentragina is going to copy the effect of Frenzy to go into the Rex turn. With the Rex turn being on the field, if your attack is equal to or higher than Phoebe's life points, you cannot activate your effect on the field. So a good way to counter this deck are trigger effects. We are triggering, meaning that you cannot, in response to us activating, reduce your life points to stop our effect. It only stops the activation, it does not negate. Now, Flameburst Dragon, the attack is way too large to activate, thus, we're no good on that activation. And we can activate cards outside of the field. From the hand, the field, that's all good for activating. A good way to deal with the Rex turn would be a Druid Swarm. You activate from the hand, get it in the grave, then it activates in grave to send the Rex turn to the grave. Imperm is also good against the Rex turn. Reborn Deluri, activatable in grave. Now, the Requiem is here at 600 attack, can in fact activate to summon from the deck an Engraver. Now, the Engraver on field will not be activatable to send the Rex turn to the grave. Sequence is right now barely activatable, but the problem with Sequence is it's not a quick effect, it's not a trigger effect. We must enter the open game state, meaning we have the opportunity to reduce our life points to ensure this cannot activate. Rex turn can pay half our life points to change the attack to be equal to our life. Do we do that? We also have the Flame Burst triggering to Reborn. We let them activate. We're just gonna use the Iron Thunder. And what did I say? You gotta, yeah, okay, we did this correctly. What I said is put this in the same column as a card to destroy. Unfortunately, the Iron Thunder itself was in that same column. The other column here would have not been good because there was nothing there to destroy except our own card. Nicely done. We have Engraver, returning the sequence back to Reborn. You still have the effective Rex turn ready to activate to reduce the field's attack to be equal to our life points so it cannot activate. We're gonna summon a Doom Dragon, not activatable. In the damage step, this is the start of the damage step. You can do it before the damage calculation. Reduce the attack to 313. Reduced! Nice try. So by battling into Rex turn, that's another good way to deal with it outside of its effect of changing your attack. So if you could trick them to activate it early, which if we were to activate it early onto the sequence, then summon the Doom Dragon, it would have properly outed the Rex turn. Now the Promethean cannot activate, and guess what? That is now an illegal summon. Negate, meaning the Promethean on a special summon for the opponent will not be activatable in grave to Reborn and pop a card in the field. And what's important to note about Promethean, a lot of people get this wrong, is it doesn't pop the monster that is special summoned. It states that you could target a monster your opponent controls. Thus, you summon something else. I target the Rex turn to deal with it with the Promethean, but that's not even a play. Come forth, Diablo Star, not activatable. We're going to Original Sinful, return Doom Dragon back into the extra deck, grabbing the Oak and the turn. We still have the Iron Thunder. We have Kentragina to copy a card in graveyard if we'd like. Flame Burst is here. So it's going to be annoying is just dealing with this wall of monsters. If Diablo Star is sent to the grave, it could Reborn. If Flame Burst is sent to the grave, it Reborns 2 level 1 fires. It's all activating off of the field. Rex turn does not control outside the field. Only on field can you not activate, but it does not negate. So again, we have another Thunder. Gianna, what's good? Music. Thank you. We were flaming on earlier. Now we're going to link this off into a Moon of the Closed Heaven. We're going to use the Poplar triggering to equip the Snake-Eyed Diablo Star into the back row. We're going to use the Engraver, reborning itself back in the field by returning back the Lurie. I don't really know what we could do. Alert's going to reborn our bodies from the graveyard here, sure. Diplos is triggering alongside the Therizia, which will set a trap from the deck as the Diplo sends a trap from the deck to the grave, which the Kentragina could copy a trap from in grave. Can copy the Frenzy if we'd like now. Rex turn equip, 79. Gia, not during the duel. We have 79 life. Anything at equal or above that cannot activate. Only on the field. Lacrima cannot activate. Further going into sequence, which cannot activate. Should Hakumo just surrender? Is that the question here? We're going to use alert. Whoa! Lacrima, burn for 1200. We're at 79 life. Well, the built-in effects of the Dinomorphia traps, the non-counter traps, state that you chain to an effect to banish, and then you take no effect damage from your opponent this turn. Nice try. You tried that with Vanquished Soul. You tried it with Lacrima. Not today. Get swinging into the Diplos. All of the Dinomorphia is at 0 defense. So if it's in D, it's going to die. Even if the Rex turn changes your attack, it will not change anything. Reborn the Diplo's back. Kentragina, copy the effect of the Frenzy. Send from the deck an extra deck to come forth and summon a second copy of the Rex turn. Double the Floodgate. Let's get to it. Let's do it. The Tharizia is here on summon, set into the back row a Sonic, which can negate a spell and trap. Intact can negate a monster. Dolka can negate 2 monsters. Thunder can negate a spell, trap, or monster. Let's do it. Lethal damage. When the deck wins, it looks so immensely broken and unfair. When the deck loses, it looks like absolute trash. There really is no in between. Let's see what's good. Not going first. Wannabe only works during the end phase. Wait, during the end phase, we could do this during, okay, just end phase, set a trap off the top of the deck. Let's speed this up since we have no forms of disrupt. Summon, going into the moon of the closed heaven. So the question is, why play the Millennium cards? This is the way. There you go. 3 bodies on the field equal full Beansmith play. And what's important about this is we did not use our normal summon. Reborn, Beatrice is going to get banned. Don't worry, right? Even this week, it's going to get banned. The ban list is coming. Original Sinful, return, back, search our deck. Ash, we have our normal summon. I got to stop this. Our opening hand was Ash, Imperm, Droll, Veiler, and a single Senjin. Just one. This was the only card we had to make a play with. And with that one card, we now have this. We have the Ash into the Poplar, into the Beatrice. Like, what the hell is going on? We have triple monster negate, double banish with the Little Knight. We have negate a monster. We have negate anything on the field with the Silvera in the back row. We have Promethean Princess, pop on special summon. We have Veiler negate a monster. And we have Ash Blossom negate an interaction with the deck. 10 disruptions. 10. Technically 8 plus 2 hand traps. So a single Senjin, 1 card without your normal summon plus a hand trap you put into the back row turned into 8 forms of disruption. 8 plus 2 hand traps. Well, actually 7. 7, because we have Imperm also. Imperm, Veiler, Ash, plus 7 disruptions. So 10. Tharizia, negate. What now, mate? Let's go into Typhon. Typhon is here. We could attempt to spin a card back. We're gonna, Promethean is one of the biggest outs to Typhon. Typhon, for some reason, is not a trigger effect, not a quick effect. It's a trash effect. We now can't get Masquerina on the field because of Promethean blocking her from being summoned, so I guess we go down to 6 disruption. Apollo negate, the wannabe mate, not today. And we have rivalry. Ooh, rivalry. What's this gonna do? Each player can only control 1 type of monster. We have Fairy, Fiend, Pyro, Spellcaster, and Fiend. We have 4 different types, and we can only control 1 if this flips up. We flip it up right now, what would happen? Well, the Silvera. Send Diablo Star to target the rivalry to negate it from sending most of our field to the grave. What we could get tricked on is if the Silvera negates the Frenzy instead, then we're in the clear to send their field to the grave. Oh boy, Phoenix has to pop Frenzy. Has to pop, oh shite. Popped the wrong card for us, that is not good. It had to go for Frenzy, we had to chain Frenzy, they then had to chain the Silvera. They have Ash anyway. We tried our best. Yep, rivalry, Silvera, negate. Even if this momentarily resolves, it will still send most of the field to the graveyard as it's resolved for a little bit, then is then sent to the grave. But as we said, Silvera was the main pain point of stopping our rivalry play. Was it a good idea to tell them we play this card before game 3? Probably not. Now we know. Holy crap, they play rivalry. Is that expected though? Maybe it's not even a big surprise. Let's go to game 3. All right, what do we have here? Diplo, send from the deck. If it were a Tharizia, you'd want to Veiler it. We have Ash for the Frenzy. And can we stop the Ash from negating the Frenzy? We do have Trap Trick to grab whatever trap we want from the deck, but that trap has to be a normal trap, and then we could only activate one trap for the rest of the turn. So this will not protect the Frenzy, but if the Frenzy gets negated, it could set the Domain instead to further make our Rex turn play. We do have Solemn Judgment, which cannot negate a monster effect like the Ash. It can negate an inherent summon, spell, or trap card activation. So if the Senjin activates in hand, can you Solemn? No. If the Senjin in the back row activates, can you Solemn because it's now a spell? No. It has to be a spell or trap card or an inherent summon. So it's not an inherent summon, it's not a spell or trap card, and it's also a monster effect. It's just like all parts of it cannot be negated. Poplar searching for the Snake-Eye Chase. It's time to Frenzy. It's time to Ash, but we gotta be careful. If we Trap Trick into Domain, we then can't use Solemn. We then can't use Brute. Brute does have the ability to destroy a Dinomorphia and one card the opponent controls. So we want to Brute in response to the Senjin activating the back row to summon itself and then search our deck for a monster. Since it wasn't summoned, it then does not search. So very good on that Brute play. We want to now think, when can I Solemn, then Trap Trick? Snake-Eye Chase, equipping to the back row. Snake-Eye Diabstar, this is not summonable. If they summon Diabstar, we would be able to Solemn. Solemn's now turned off, but maybe we don't need it. We don't need it. Domain, let's go. Send for the deck, Kentragina. Kentragina can now copy the Domain Engrave or the Frenzy if it's in there. Where is the Frenzy is banished. Into now our Rex turn. As you can see here, the little cross icon over the Solemn is not going to save us. If you're at 500 attack or higher, you are not able to activate your monster on the field. We're going to reduce ourselves further to 250, and now the Solemn Judgment is activatable to negate the Silvera. Silvera needing to be used on the Rex turn. We have Veiler attempting to negate the Rex turn so that you can activate monster effects on field, as we're going to chain the Kentragina to just turn that Rex term into another Rex term. A non-negated Rex term. All right, a freshly summoned one. Silvera is going to negate. Solemn Judgment, negate. The negate. This is game 3, mate. Are we actually gonna win? No to your negate. Shouldn't the no turn around? Now we are going in. Get reducing 39. You couldn't even activate the Link Karibo because its attack was too large. Poplar trigger Engrave to equip the Snake-Eye Diabstar. Now, in addition to, you cannot activate monsters on the field if they're at 32 attack or higher. The Intact will negate any monster effect no matter where it is. And do we have Brute in the graveyard still? We do. The Brute can be activated through the Kentragina to pop a card in the field. We got a pop, we got a negate, and we got a Floodgate mate. Triple disruption. Well, 2 disruption plus a Floodgate. That's not a monster effect, we can't negate that. We're gonna send it back row, summon the Doom Dragon, we can't activate because the Rex turn. Poplar, re-equip, and the turn. Ooh, we are desperate. What could Snake-Eye do in this matchup? I know we're all feeling bad for Snake-Eye. This seems totally unfair. You could, as the chat said earlier, you could play Subversion before their life points is low enough where you could not activate a Poplar. You would activate the Poplar to then search for Subversion to push the Rex term into the back row. We're going to tract. Now this is 3 disruption. 3 disruption plus a Floodgate. We have negate and destroy anything that activates in the field. We have intact, negate a monster. We got Brute right now activating to pop the set Ash Blossom. So we're now down to 2 disruption. Max C is coping. Do we even negate with intact? No, we do not. Draw off of the Reborn of the Kentragina. The Razia is going to set from the deck an alert, which could reborn our Dinomorphia cards from the grave back onto the field. To battle, we go. Akimo with the correct play, suiciding into the Rex term. Thank you very much. Let's now hop into another match. 3-2-1 Phoebe. Very well done. Toy box first. We're going to set into the back row our toy tank and our toy soldier. Now Alzette can send the toy soldier, get negated by the not negated. We maxi it instead. Interesting. Okay, that's a really good Ash negate. Toy soldier, reborning, but I know after seeing you see a toy soldier being sent, it's a double special summon, so maybe we do that instead, sure. Now the toy soldier wanting to search for what? It was going to search for a level 4 light monster, likely being a Sylvie. Sylvie would have been our normal summon. We're going to go into the Silhouette Rabbit under Max C, so they got to draw 3. It actually worked out quite well, as we have the Silhouette Trick to negate a card on the field, Toy Box setting up another Toy Soldier. Our forms of disruption are just one. One disrupt. Negates on field. Tract is going to be searching for the Luri. Luri's going to reborn. If it wasn't a Zurun, I'll tell you when we could have used it. We can't use it here. The Azurun could negate the Requiem summon. This is where it could have possibly been used. But instead we have the Silhouette Trick. So if you want that comparison of which card we should have played. And the Requiem's equipping. Engraver's going to send the Silhouette Rabbit to the graveyard so we don't get the additional... Oh, wow. Actually, this card's now trash. Completely dead. Summon, and then target cards your opponent could... Wait, no. Am I right? Up to the number of illusion... It counts itself, right? It counts itself. Target up to the number of illusion. It is an illusion. Negate their effects. Okay. It does count itself, so it is still a negate. Sequence. On the... Here's the problem, though. It summons, then it activates. So if you summon, then activate to negate sequence, what are you doing? You're negating before it activates. So if they have a way to return sequence back in the extra after it was negated, then resummon it, they then get to activate it for the first time after you negated it preemptively. We can't chain to its activation. So we're just not going to even activate. Desiree. Ooh, Desiree. So if the sequence activates to equip, we chain. We then on a separate chain try to not even be able to target it because it would then be untargetable. Just off this duel, I can't say I'm a fan of this card. I don't know. I think the Zurun's better, right? Overall. Maybe this was just an unfair showcase for the Silhouette Trick. This is going to do nothing. Can't even negate the Promethean. It's going to summon, and then Promethean resolves, and then it's going to negate something. Can't even target the Desiree. We're stuck face up. Okay, because we could send it with a White Forest in the next duel, right? Toy Box effect on the attack. Destroy the attacking monster. Toy Tank reborn from the grave unless we get fingered. And we do get fingered. Negate the Toy Tank from blocking an additional attack. Now, let's... Toy Box number 2 is already negated because of the Desiree. Finger number 2, negate that Toy Soldier from being reborn. Giovanni, you're just getting unlucky here. I'm very sorry. Not cool. 28, mate, and lethal damage. Top into game number 2. Queen Azamina. Bro, what? Hey, were you the dude in the sub alert? What was it, a donation? Who was talking about this? What the heck? This card's now being used? Grand Spiritual Art Ichirin. Negate your opponent's first monster effect that resolves each turn, no matter where it is. And while you control, it has to be while you control spellcaster with 1500 defense. You could also search your deck or a 1500 attack / 200 defense, which I believe is perfectly a Sylvie, right? That's what the message said. Yeah, let's go. But we're searching Sylvie. Yeah, buddy. 1500 attack, 200 defense. Valor gets negated. That's it. No. You have to have 1500 defense to negate. Yeah, okay, that's not that. The card's not that crazy. If you have a 1500 defense spellcaster, only then would we negate. This negates Ash. There, Ash is now negated. Yup. No, you didn't know. You didn't know. Didn't read the card. Field spell, mate. Gotcha. Negate with the field spell. Nuts. So what we're supposed to do? Not do that. Just don't activate. While there's a spellcaster, it gets negated. Ooh, okay. Now, the Regina in response to an Azamina card activating, which would be the Sylvia. If Sylvia negates a card, you could chain Regina to pop up to 2 cards in the field. We then have Diabel, which could flip the entire field face down. Now, the Saint Azamina states that you cannot target your own cards on your field, grave, or banishment. So I'm curious, how does that even work against the best deck in the game? Let's click on the search here, and we're going to type in the filter Snake Eye Fiendsmith, because I do want to know how relevant this is. Let's type in the word target, and let's bump this up. So targeting our own cards here, this targets a card in the graveyard. So you can't use Original Sinful. And what else? This targets a card in the grave, can't use Poplar to equip a card in the graveyard. The Flamebirds can't target the Masquerena in grave. This targets a card that is banished or in the grave. You can't use the effect to draw. Wow, there's a lot of things here. Lacrima can't target the Engraver to reborn or add back. So all that's stopped. Sequence cannot target Desiree to equip. So Desiree just can't get its negates going. What else? Promethean does not target to reborn, but its effect to reborn itself does target, so you can't Promethean once it's already in the graveyard. Wow, Oak can't target a graveyard or... wow, Saint Azamina stops a lot of things here. Requiem can't equip onto the Engraver. What else is here? We can't use the second effect of Little Knight because we can't target our own cards. We can't Snake Eye Diablo target a card in the graveyard. Holy moly! Now, even though that sounded like a lot of cards that is stopped by Saint Azamina, most of the cards it was stopping was their secondary effects, not their good effects. Yeah, it's like a mini floodgate, kind of. Diablo Star on summon is going to set up the Deception Sinful. This card does not get stopped on anything. Hallowed Azamina also targets a card to return back to the hand, so the Saint Azamina would stop that. Wow. Wow. Regina, when an Azamina or Sinful Spoil card or effect is activated, does not state your Azamina, your Sinful Spoil, the opponent's Sinful Spoil activated, which allowed us to chain directly to the opponent's Sinful Spoil to pop it like an ogre. That was crazy good. Gonna grab the Poplar. Poplar could still search. It's not stopped by the Saint Azamina. Now, the Diablo Star sending our back row card could summon a Silvera to flip the Poplar face down. So when we search for an Original Sinful, we can't send the Poplar to the graveyard to summon. Elzette adding back to the hand. We still have Silvera. Silvera is our last form of disruption. In addition to the mini floodgate effect of Saint Azamina. Can't summon this, by the way. We already talked about it. You got to target a card in the grave, and Saint Azamina says you can't target a card in the grave. So to battle we go. Let's take out the Silvera, which would have... Oh, we still have the Silvera negate. Correction. Yeah, we did say that, right? Could summon from the deck a Flamberge. Flamberge could push... Can't target the Saint Azamina. We could target another card, though. Okay. We're in the end phase, just like that. Wow. Interesting play that was. We flipped, we popped. Silvera got disrupted. Mo Regina is being stolen thanks to the Flamberge. And the Ichirian is now searching for another Sylvie. That is crazy. Reveal a spellcaster. Any spellcaster with the same attributes. And then add, shuffle the reveal. Okay, that is something. Scourge is going to negate. Send Diablo Star to negate the Mo Regina, which is chaining to the effect of an Azamina card to pop 2 cards in the field. I did it to you. You tried to do it to me through the Flamberge stealing my own Regina. Now that we have the Hallowed Azamina, we're going to use the Elzette to send it to summon and search for an Elzette Azamina. We already committed to our normal summon, but the Elzette Azamina special summons herself onto the field. We used a light and a dark to summon the Chaos Angel unaffected by monster effects to banish any card in the field, say goodbye to the Flamberge. We have Sylvie returning back the Racilla engraved to reborn. It is currently negated. Whoa, Gia, what is this? Zorora, the Magistus, is here. Ain't no way. Your opponent cannot activate effects of monsters of the same card type as a Magistus monster in your spell and trap zone. You can't use your Synchros, and I'm sure it does something else, but it's not worth reading. Sylvia is here, ready to negate anything. Is that really all it's doing? Opponent cannot activate Synchros. Okay, and is that it? Does this do something while equipped? While equipped, the equipped monster cannot be destroyed by spell and trap cards. And at the start of the damage step at the monster this is equipped to, battles, you can destroy the monster non-targeting. Okay. Can't, Victor Lee's Synchros, which he plays none of, cannot activate. We are going to be chaining the Sylvie to the Deception, Sinful. Let's Sylvie, we have LZ triggering to add back to the hand. Sylvie is negated. Well, why are we even activating that? Okay. Sure. And now we're going to use the secondary effect, tribute off the Mo Regina, searching for the Hollowed Azamina. Hollowed Azamina does not target, thus the Saint Azamina does not stop it. We have Sylvia negates. We have our synchros are unaffected by monster effects. Thanks to the Chaos Angel, none of our monsters can be destroyed by battle. Sylvia is going to negate the Diablo Star. We're going to Sylvia negate the negate. Sylvia negate Sylvia. Bruh, what? Gianna, Magistus, with this card, negated a monster effect because it's 1500 defense. What the? It being 1500 defense negated their first monster effect that resolved. Wow. And then Sylvia, so Sylvia got negated by the field spell because of Magistus. And then Diablo Star got negated by our own Sylvia. End phase, come back. Did we just get reflected 2500 damage? The Saint Azamina does state, this duel is a crazy mess and I love it. All thanks to maybe Saint Azamina and so many other effects. Your opponent takes any battle damage, and the Chaos Angel says your monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. So you keep this in attack, they swing into it, pie on their face, 2500. Holy moly, Giovanni, I love this deck. Self-reflect with our own Saint Azamina for gain. Crazy. Unbelievable. All right, you now have Victor Lee going first. Ooh, 10 minutes in real life time. Let's Flame Burst, summon our Masquerina, and then talk about our forms of disruption. So right now, the Thrust is activatable to thrust any spell from our deck to our hand, which the Ash can negate. So you have Ash negate something like the Thrust, impermanent negate a monster on the field, Promethean engrave, pop a monster on special summon, Sylvia negate anything. We have Masquerina into double Little Knight banish a card, up to 2 cards in the field, that is. We have Caesar double special summon negate. Did I even talk about Apollo USA yet? Apollo negate, and you can't see it, but my toe is up for the 11th form of disruption. 11. How do I show that? I don't know. 11 disruption. Gia, can we borrow your toe? Come forth, Little Knight on summon. Our 11th, so after this activates, we are now at 10 disruption. 10. Unicorn, looking at the extra deck here. 10 disrupt. Sylveon summon, now down to 9 disruptions. The Caesar cannot negate a spell and trap card effect to summon. We're going to Ash negate the thrust from adding, which is what we were talking about earlier. Negate, now down to 8 disruption mates. With 8 disruption left, we end our turn. We tried. We did our best. Okay, without having to even do anything, we have 10,000 damage on the field. Just switch to attack, start attacking. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Lethal damage. 2-1 victory. 11 disruption, that's something. When's the last time we saw over 10 disruption? I think, was that a Yubel player? I think it was Tier Limit we saw that. They were kind of cheating because they had Fairy Tale Snow and a way to put it back in the grave to then reborn it again. So Fairy Tale Snow was stacking up multiple forms of disruption within just one card. Start this off with a Lurie, linking off into the Requiem, which the Ash is going to be perfect for negating. Requiem, no, we held on to the Ash. We're going to Ash something else instead, like the Deception Sinful. So for good reason, we did the Ash check, and they have no Ash. They did not Ash Requiem. So we should assume that this goes through. Outplayed. I talked about this on the release of Fiendsmith. I talk about this a lot. One of the best ways to use Ash is to not use Ash against Fiendsmith, because it's bait. it could be bait, and it was bait. We have Engraver searching for the Tract, Tract searching, Ash on Tract, Ash on Requiem, or don't Ash at all. Those are the 3 times to Ash and to, or just not Ash. The way to use Ash against Fiendsmith. The main reason to not use it at all is, as you saw right there, it was much better used on the Deception Sinful instead. Let's Requiem equip onto the Engraver. Let's send the Requiem for the Diablo-Star. We do have Imperm and Veiler ready to negate. Engraver, return back Lurie, Reborn back on the field. We now have the sequence ready to Veiler or Imperm negate. Now, with the Divine Temple, we're going to use the Original Sinful, send. We could have Impermed that if we wanted to, and I don't know. Imperming the Original Sinful seemed to be the play. Because we stop the search with Ash, they make Promethean Reborn Ash, and then they send and still summon a Flameburst in the deck anyway. That may have just been the ideal play, instead of waiting for Ash to summon. We're going to summon our Golem, searching for the Wedju Temple. Yep, Promethean, Reborn. Yeah, I mean, if we're like... did we scoop because we saw Golem? I don't think so. Pretty much would have scooped anyway. Let's hop into game number 2. Huh, we passed. Imperm, Ash, and a Max C. So after that Max C, what do we do? The Max C not being used in the main phase, thus the Triple Tactics talent's no good. Droll and Lockbird, and we're gonna chain to the Droll. Very smart. Droll is going to resolve after we add, and now the Max C is turned off, as we can now pop off from there until the Ash negates the Requiem, which will then turn on the Triple Tactics talent to look at your hand. Now, Triple Tactics talent is live. The Diablo-Star is still activatable to set up an Original Sinful unless we Imperm negate the Diablo-Star. Seeing if there's 2 Imperms, returning 1 is not going to be that beneficial if they just negate our Diablo-Star, but we now know that they have it. Which, yep, we may as well just play right into it, right? Summon Diablo-Star. Poplar is going to Chain Link block a negate like an Apollo USA. Imperm, negate. No Original Sinful for you. The Wedju Temple is public knowledge, right? We did search it, we didn't hard open this, and then just summon Golem without a search. To battle we go. We did pass turn 1. We had no play whatsoever. Ending our turn with 0 disruption, nothing. We do have follow-up with Poplar if we were to summon, but you'd have to assume that we could actually make a play. That did not matter. Wow, 2-0. Something is in the water today. People are bricking like crazy. Their decks are just not working. Was there a secret Master Duel update? The odds are being manipulated in the background. We're going to see it in the maintenance log. Is Konami going to apologize? I don't know what's happening. Top 4. Begin. We have 2 lines of plays against 0 forms of disruption. That's just how it be. Unfortunately, let's speed this up. Rasala Go is going to go into our deck, grabbing the Original Sinful. Send Original Sinful for Diablo-Star to use the Original Sinful to grab an Ash in the deck. Do we want to count the Call by the Grave a form of disruption against Dinomorphia? I won't. So we'll just say Apollo, Triple Monster Negate, Desiree, negating up to 2 cards in the field. We have double Imperm negates. We have Sylvia negate. We have Little Knight double banish. We have Ingrave Promethean Princess. 10 disruption, 11 if you count the Call by the Grave. So you do you if that's what you count as. So what's good here is when Little Knight banishes one of the back row cards, we're within the main phase. So we could just reset the card from our hand. And if we are confident that they're going to banish a back row card within the main phase, we could keep the best card in our hand so it does not get banished and then set it right after. I don't think we had that level of confidence. Otherwise, the Frenzy would have been in hand. Let's, so goodbye to that. There's no reason to even have up these hand forms of disruption. We're now searching for forms of follow-up plays. Ooh, what is good? It's going to be all about the Ferret Flames. The combined attack of all face-up monsters your opponent controls has to be equal or less than your life points. So if we were to Ferret Flames right now, they could only have 4,000 attack on the field. They got 9,800. This would have to be 4,000 or less. And it's non-target, spin it back in the extra deck. Little Knight is going to chain banish the Z-Arc. We're going to use Dinomorphia Frenzy. Now, it has to be 2,000 or less. You see that? We're going to Dinomorphia Intact. Now, can the Intact be negated by the Desiree? Desiree is a spell speed 2. Intact is a spell speed 3, being a counter trap, thus we cannot chain to it. Negate. Frenzy is going through. 1,000. If we Ferret Flames, their field of attack has to be 1,000 or less, which would be just a Snake Eye Ash. That's it. Everything else would be gone. Promethean Princess, we're going to Rex Term, chain Ferret Flames. This is it. Oh crap! It's negating the Ferret Flames with the Imperm. No! It was a good attempt. Oh no, I cannot believe it. The Desiree could not activate. Its attack is too high to even activate. Promethean Princess outing the Rex Term activatable from Engrave. Rex Term's going to trigger. Apollo is going to negate. Intact is only activatable hard once per turn and only activatable while you control a face-up Dinomorphia card. Now, what's interesting with the Intact, you may be thinking based off of what I said that you have to control a monster. All damage you take is reduced by half, by the way. Half of your life points, that is. So you can't even win. We have another turn. We should probably just surrender, though. Anyway, the Intact works if you, let's say you activate a Frenzy, they chain Ash, you then have momentarily a face-up Dinomorphia card you control being the Frenzy, even if you have no monsters, which the Intact could then negate the Ash. Let's speed this up. This is the effect of Intact if it negates a monster effect. All right, back onto the field with our Little Knight. 31 life points. Z-Arc to battle, reduced 2-0. And we're going to send it for Arc-Ray Dragon. Okay, this is not really doing much. We do have the Iron Thunder, though. I would not encourage your opponent to be mindful of the Iron Thunder to then play around the columns for game 2 and 3. I would just don't activate this. We know this game is lost. We want them to screw up. Summon Engraver. Requiem equip. Engraver could send to the graveyard, and we're gonna let them know, hey, I got Thunder exists. Make sure you play around this correctly because it destroys the whole column, even though the Apollo is protected by a Masquerina. We now have Frenzy, ensuring that we take no effect damage this turn. Sure. Now the Arc Ray itself, if this card, especially with the extra deck, we don't care. If this card is destroyed, you put it into the Pendulum Zone. We don't care. Yeah, this is just not doing anything. Get pushed back, and just like that, over 10,000 damage. All right, let's hop into game number 2, where we now get to make the ultimate turn 1 Dinomorphia play of setting 5, then passing. Come on, set 5. Set 5, pass is here. Let's freaking do it. Yes. Holy moly, what did we accomplish? We have 2 ways to go into the extra deck. We have a Trap Trick to grab any trap we want. We have Fair Flames to shuffle the entire field back in the deck. We have a 2 Trap Tricks, actually. Unfortunately, they do not overlap in benefit. We are going to, in response to the Diab Star within the main phase, only then can we activate our Dinomorphia Frenzy. That is the Ash check. No Ash in sight. Come forth and summon into a Rex Term. Make sure your Rex Term does not touch the graveyard, because if they finger your Rex Term in grave, the Rex Term on field is then also fingered. Be careful about the graveyard when you're playing Dinomorphia. Everyone's got 2 fingers. We're going to summon an Ash, which is small enough to activate. As long as we are under the life points, we are good. Poplar activating from the hand. Your attack does not matter if you are not on the field. Now, if we use our Ferret Flames, We just couldn't use it. They have to be higher attack than your life points. But now we could, but it just wouldn't be a good activation. Kentragina copying the effect. These are situations where we could accidentally get a Rex term into the grave. Instead, we got the little Dinomorphia stealth birds instead. Moon of the Closed Heaven. Into Requiem, which could still activate at 600 attack. Nice and small. Engraver cannot activate. When we equip the Requiem, it would not be able to send the Rex turn. We're going to summon our Snake-Eyed Diablo-Star, Deception Sinful, Tribute off, grab the Hollowed Azamina. The Risalago reduces the attack of the Rex turn. Is that worth anything? You're now down to 25. To our 2000. Come forth in Graver. We still have the effect of the Rex terms to reduce the opponent's field's attack within the damage step that is. Trap Trick, setting up Soul of the Supreme King to activate it within the end phase. Come forth and summon Supreme King Z-Arc is here. Z-Arc is negated right now. We have Divine Temple triggering. You just made a boo-boo. This states that your opponent activates a spell card or the effect of a spell. I could now summon a bunch of monsters from the extra deck with varying effects. What are their effects going to be? 0 attack monsters are negated, so against you, Bell, they would get super screwed. The Crystal Clear Wing, what does this do? When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can then, who cares about that? If your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can negate the activation, then destroy. Barret flaming the entire field away, just like that. 0 bodies on the field, shuffling away Risalago, Poplar, Engraver, and Diablo-Star non-target shuffle. Damn. Well, that's Solemn Strike is actually a good turn 2 card. It's better going first, but turn 2, it could deal with an already established card in field. Let's say Desiree wants to activate. You could chain, negate, and destroy it. It would then activate Engrave to send a card on your field to the grave. Let's speed this up. Let's talk about this real quick. We had to Flameburge chain to Promethean to get Masquerade on the field, which would block the Flameburge from triggering to get 2 bodies, but that's okay. And then at the end of the main phase, I know someone in the chat's thinking, DK'd Promethean. I don't care about Promethean. Desiree at the end of the main phase, negate Promethean, then on resolution, activate Masquerena, Little Knight, banish a back row card. Am I right or am I right? That was the play. Now, does it matter? No, it didn't matter, but that's what we should have done. We have negate a back row. We have 2 counter traps that cannot be negated by the Desiree nor the Sylvia. And, I mean, if they just go to battle, what are we even negating? 14,000 damage. Alert. Reborn. Activate Thrasia. Do we even Solemn Strike this? Okay. Was this made with Masquerena? Does it even get destroyed? I don't know if it was made with Masquerena. Apparently it was. Still on the field at 1600 attack. Great, didn't get destroyed. Take out the Thrasia, and what a great game. Lethal damage. 2-1. And when I say great game, I'm not talking about that. I mean Master Duel as a whole. Great game. Let's hop into another match. Begin. Senjin, equip into the back row. We don't ash this as we add the Golem from the deck. Not saying that we should ash it as we equip the Golem. This is a full 1 card. It's like 1.5 card if you want to count the card we have to equip into our hand, into the back row. And now, we're going to get Fool Lawson. And now, we're going to get Fingering. Finger the Fool Loss. With the Doom Dragon, we can now go into either a Photon Lord or full Fiendsmith play. What is the way? What should we do? We're going into Photon Lord. Protect our plays. You want to ash? I can negate if I want to, and I will. Negate the Ash. And just like that, you have no more forms of disruption. Look how versatile the Millennium play is. Do I want to go into full Fiendsmith, or do I want to protect a play that I already have in my hand? That really is incredible. And then if you're playing the Curry Photon, you could search that to protect yourself from getting lethaled from a Tempai Mad Lad. Let's speed this up. Sequence into using the Grave. Lacrima is going to Reborn the Engraver. As we now, this card's gonna get banned, 100%. Banless this week, it gets banned. Wanted Seeker might get banned, Beatrice might get banned. Diablo Star may go to limited to 1. Bonfire limited to 1. What? I feel like that's not enough though. Even though that seems like a lot. White, I feel like something has to happen to White Forest, even though they do play Beatrice. You have to remember that Droll used to be 70% usage. Why'd that happen? Well, the best deck in the game was Super Heavy Samurai. And then Droll dropped from 70% usage down to something like 20% as soon as Super Heavy was no longer the best deck. Negate the Snake Eye Ash effect of summoning from the deck. Trigger the Poplar. Wow. We got him good. Ash on the effect of summoning from the deck. We do have Valor. We do have the effect of Impermanence. We have double negate. Is this the end for Victor Lee? We have cross out Designate to stop one of those effects. We only have one play. One play versus 2 disruption and 1 card to stop one of those disruptions. It's not enough. And by committing to this play, we now have a dead Fool Loss in hand. Fool Loss has now turned into a brick. Cross out attempts to negate as the Valor on top of the Impermanence mate negates the Snake Eye Ash. It's all up to the Droll and Lockbird. Will Droll be enough? Let's find out. We do have a dead Hollowed Azamina at the moment, desperately wanting to draw into a Sinful Spoil card, or a Diablo Star would be good. Deception Sinful. Oh, a Fool Loss. That's not so good. We do have Bonfire, which will chain the Droll too. Now, Droll in response to this, it's not that good. Oak's gonna Reborn. We're gonna summon from the deck. We're gonna Flamebirds. We're gonna Reborn. We're gonna Fiendsmith. We're gonna up the wazoo. Like, we have crazy plays even through a Droll. This is barely anything. This is why Droll is not so good right now. It's only good when being used by the best deck to Droll themselves. Alrighty, let's equip. Let's get sending. Let's keep. Oh, now I can Fool Loss. It's not. Why even bother? I'm out of here. You Fool Lost under Droll, by the way. We knew that, right? We were trolling. It was funny. Let's go into game 3. Golem equip into the back row. Summon with our Wedju Temple. Wedju Temple is going to be equipping our Engraver and our Senjin from the deck. Summon searching for another Senjin from our deck. Equipping itself in the back row. Send for the Doom Dragon. As we now go into the Photon Lord to protect our plays from any hand traps that Victor Lee did not draw into. No hand traps in sight. We have Promethean Princess, which will pop a monster on special summon. We have negate a monster with Photon Lord. We have Desiree, negate up to 2 cards in the field. We have double monster negate with the Apollo USA. And then on top of the 5 forms of disruption, we have Masquerena being summoned through the Flameburst or field spell to go into a double banish with Little Knight. 7 disrupt, 6 cards in the hand. Crossout's gonna not be so good. We can't even cross out Flameburst in the deck to stop them from summoning Masquerena, which the Divine Temple would have summoned anyway. And this is dead in our hand. What's going on here? Let's just go. 7 disrupt. Bonfire add from the deck. Poplar. Poplar triggering to get negated by the Apollo USA. Negate. Now down to 6 disrupts. Normal Poplar, Apollo, negate. Again, we're now down to 5 disruption. You have to pass on Divine Temple to even activate the Apollo. Anima, which may trigger the Divine Temple here. Ooh, we can't target the desert, eh? Yeah, target a monster that can't be targeted. So this does not work. Summon the Masquerina. On the activation of the Deception Sinful, it does not tribute to search. It's only after while already being face up. You need to enter an open game state to use the Deception Sinful. So before they get to that open game state, in response to the activation, just banish it away. So first it was in response to the activation, set up, and then on the trigger of the Little Knight summon, get banishing, to battle we go. I think 10, 15 years ago, this would actually kill both monsters. I forget for which game, TCG or OCG. Cross out Designator, Maxi negated. Take out the Anima, 10,000 damage on the field, and just like that, lethal damage. Victor Lee, this close to the grand finale. I know I was, many others were rooting for you, my friend. Let's keep on going straight to the grand finale, and then we're gonna get into the leaks. It is now time for the grand finale. Meta Sheep versus... I mean, is this Meta Sheep versus Meta Sheep? Let's be real. I think we're both kind of sheeping. There's nothing wrong with that. And someone may be thinking, wow, why is DK going in on Meta Sheeps today? It's his name. I'm not. I don't have a problem with you being a Meta Sheep. Begin. We have Promethean on a special summon popping an opposing monster. We have Masquerina into double banish with Little Knight. We have Apollo USA with the triple negates. We have Ash in hand. We have Droll in hand. So somehow through a Droll, we have 8 disruptions. Let's go. Poplar on summon, going to get negated by the Apollo. We're now down to 7 forms of disrupt. Linkuriboh is going to be tributing off the Poplar to get fingered by the Called by the Grave. Now we can't summon the Promethean, or we can once the Poplar goes into the back row. We can still do that. We're going to put the Flamers in the back row, that is. Diablo Star here, triggering the Divine Temple to summon the Flamers from the back row. Poplar Chainlink blocking the Diablo Star from the Apollo negating. Come forth and summon. Cross out Designate. Negate the Divine Temple, mate. Now we can't Promethean. Negate. Very nice. Well done. Equip the Poplar, set from the deck our Deception Sinful. We're in an awkward spot where we can't summon Promethean. We just lost 2 negates on the Apollo. We just have Little Knight, Ash, and Droll. That's it. Little Knight on summon, banish away the Diablo Star. We got 3 more disruption. Original Sinful, Ash, negate, Droll, and Little Knight secondary banish is all we have left. That was enough. Nicely done from both players. That cross out on Divine Temple was definitely a sight to behold as we golem up the top of the deck, equip itself, summon itself, searching for the Wedju Temple. We're going to Wedju Temple, activate equipping the Droll and the Senjin. Senjin's going to search for another Senjin. We're going to use the Engraver, return back Lacrima, reborn itself from Engrave. 81, 50 damage. We know exactly what that back row card is. Nothing Engrave that's activatable. Lethal damage taking this into game number 2. Oh boy. Sinful Deception, tribute away the Snake-Eyed Diablo Star from in hand. We do want to get a Poplar out on the field to re-equip that Snake-Eyed Diablo Star. Let's go into our Risala Go. Now we have triple monster negates. Negate any card on the field and we're untargetable. Gonna get up to 2 cards. We have Imperm to get a monster on the field. We have Promethean Princess, pop a monster on special summon. And then we have Masquerina with a double Little Knight Banish. 8 forms of disruption. Let's go. Golem equip into the back row. Golem reborn itself from the back row. Add a Wedgie Temple. Wedgie Temple is going to put the Flameburge into our back row to equip the Senjin. Senjin is here searching for another Senjin. Trigger Divine Temple to steal your Flameburge. It's now mine, which can now summon my Masquerina from the back row. Say goodbye to the Apollo USA. We're now down to 5 forms of disruption. In response to the Senjin, we are going to activate our Flameburge, which now we could activate Triple Tactics Talent. Thanks to that, but the Desiree is ideal for stopping back row and board breakers. We're going to negate the Wedgie Temple and the Triple Tactics Talent. Let's now set up with a Divine Temple as we now go into Masquerina. This is going to set up a card in the back row as we're attempting to summon a Doom Dragon. To stop that Doom Dragon summon, we could just Little Knight banish whatever you equip. Banish away the Snake Eye Ash. Desiree also is a form of disruption here if you could link it off with a Masquerina after using its effect to negate to then send a card in the field to the graveyard. Now, what do we have left? We have Imperm, Secondary Banish, and Promethean Princess. Triple disruption. On the Moon of the Closed Heaven, we're going to pop it with the Promethean Princess and end the turn, as we have Little Knight and Imperm left to be used. To battle we go, thanks to your Millennium cards reducing yourself to 4,000. This is all we need to take this into game number 3. Going first is good. Yep, I guess whoever goes first wins, so let's see what happens. And then our Mulcharmy is turned off. Oh no, Droll, got him. Boom, just like that. Golem could still summon. We just can't add the Wedgie Temple. And we still have a normal summon Fua Loss. But the Ash is now going to negate the Requiem. Oh no, no! Negate the Requiem. And then we have the cross out for the Maxi. Unbelievable. But we do have Fua Loss also. Fua Loss and Maxi with nothing on the field. This is the way. Ash into Imperm. Ooh, if you cross out the Imperm, then you get Max Seed. We're going to hold on to that cross out designator. Now, would it have been better to cross out the Imperm because they have another Imperm? Probably. Fua Loss is going to be... Ooh, okay, you're not going to stop the Fua Loss, so I'm going to add a Maxi on top of it. I will be negating that. Now, that is too much. Fua Loss is fine. Not the Maxi. Negate. Send Snake Eye Diablo Star for our Diablo Star. We have our normal summon already committed to. The second Imperm is now here. Negate. Oh, like you could feel it. 3,300 damage, 4,000 life. We're so close. 700 life left. We're in a top deck situation. Nothing in grave is activatable. No engraver. Not a... Oh, no. Cross out designator. Ain't no way. At the start of the battle phase, we're gonna finger your Senjin. Oh gosh, who's BMing here? Both of them? You finger me, I cross out my card, my Droll. Well done, but both of you triggering animations here. Lethal damage. Nicely done. Nicely done. Meta Weekly, we have Snake Eye Fiendsmith clapping everyone up. Of course they are. White Forest Azamina close behind, and this is scary. I did talk about this earlier within the tournament that the ban list is very likely going to heavily target Snake Eye Fiendsmith more so than any other deck type, and then White Forest Azamina will rise to the top. But there's a saving grace with that scenario, and that means that if everyone just main decks Droll and Lockbird, the deck will not be as good. It will still be a great deck, but Droll will help keep them at bay, and they will not feel as toxic as Snake Eye Fiendsmith. Be much more manageable. Vanquish Soul, the Crusader. Retaliating Sea. If you're going to complain about Azamina, then I want to show me your C. Where is it? You got to be playing Retaliating Sea to stop the Azamina plays. It claps them up real good. So there's the main deck. And it being an Earth also works with your Vanquished Soul support. It's perfect. Good job. Yep. There is the extra and the main. Let's see what else we have here. Centurion before the new support. Got the apples. Good job, Plu. 42 cards. Yep. And then here is the extra deck. So the deck's going to definitely be better with at least the new tuner, and likely many people will be playing the new level 8. I've been hearing some rumblings that people are considering to put Gamma back in. Even though Gamma's limited to 1, if you Gamma negate something, it's a level 8 synchro into the new Centurion Primera, right? You get your whole combo going off of a Gamma negate. And what else do we have? We have Kashtira, Stardust Hope, Stardust Cope. Chat, I need your help. If someone wants to play a stun/control type deck, should they play Kashtira, Exodia, or Stun? And the answer, they're going to be like, none, don't play any of them. No, come on. This is a valid play style, I think. So there you go. Something like this. None. Okay. And we're also got the support of the 7 Tachyon here. How is this going to work, though, right? Level 4. Level 4. What are we even? What are we searching with this? We're gonna search for level 4. Do we Pathfinder? I think Pathfinder, and then the Rise Heart. Search Pathfinder or Rise Heart. That's kind of interesting. Okay. What else we got? Blue Eyes, Lemon. I'm excited to look at this D. We got the Blue Eyes Jet Dragon from Lemon. Let me make sure I have the whole view of the deck here. Triple through a loss. Yup. Triple Veiler. This is looking super duper standard. Even triple Nibiru. This deck looks so clean. I love it. And then we have the extra deck here. Yup. Look. Ooh, double Tyrant Dragon. Sometimes you gotta summon a Tyrant Dragon on your very first turn to make more plays. I'm shook. You're not playing Crimson Dragon. That is wild. Wow. And a very simple deck. That's why we were confused within the event on why you summoned a Lina. I think the goal is that you're trying to end on a Spirit Dragon plus a Hieratic Seal, but you had the Lina play instead of being able to make a Hieratic Seal, so I guess that's what made sense. Because double Spirit Dragon is not double negate. This is a hard once per turn negate. That is the situation. Is there a deckless error with this, Gianna? I swore you or someone else maybe summoned a Cipher Dragon. I think that might have been someone else. The main deck is not weird, but the extra deck is weird. Yes, this is not standard, but it is different. Dinomorphia, Phoebe. Get Phoebing it up. We got the Wannabes. Barret Flames, very nice. What else is good here? We got the extra deck, which is not as important. Triple Rex Term, making the deck a bit expensive. A lot of ultra rares in this deck list. Yeah, it's only 870 URCP actually. The top tier decks are more than that. Konami has made sure of that. We have Galaxy Tachyon. Top 8 Andrew C22. Oh boy, 40 card clean. Looks like a good deck list. Looks super consistent. I don't know why you were bricking. You just got unlucky. You did well enough to get to the top cut, and then you just started bricking up like crazy. Really unfortunate. I was truly rooting for you and your deck. And then we got the extra deck here. And then Ingram, 42 cards. A bit spicier. We got the 7th one in the main deck here, which could make you a bit more susceptible to bricking. But nonetheless, you still got to top 16 through your deck and yourself playing well. And then here is the extra deck. I would love to see this get summoned. I don't believe it's even summonable. There's no way that you're ever stacking a 7th one, then drawing it, either in the draw phase or the regain, to then whip out this mad lad that's just negate everything and your opponent cannot activate cards on the field. That's crazy. Too good to be true. And then triple attack at 4,500. Who's got gameplay of that? I want to see it. And then we have the White Forest Azamina. Itachi. I'm going to try to only comment on anything out of the ordinary. Normal. Solemn Judgment is not normal, but if you're going first, it's pretty good. help against board breakers, help against, you could just negate a normal summon, and that could sometimes be enough to completely obliterate someone. Got the extra deck looking pretty normal. And then Giovanni, anything but normal. But who says you need to be normal? We got toys up in here. A lot of people have dropped the toys, Heavy Storm plus the toys. Got the Silahat Trick instead of the Azure Rune. Not too crazy of a choice. I think I prefer Azure Rune, but I'm open to being convinced on the Silahat Trick being good. Maybe if it negated within its summon, on summon and negate, instead of summon then activates and negate, I think it would have been a lot better. Maybe bordering broken. Obviously, that'd be way too good. Scourge of the White Forest, 2 negates. The field spell, this was crazy. If you have a 1500 defense monster like the Magistus Zorora, you just negate the first effect your monster activates on the resolution of it. That is crazy. Super cool. I like this deck a lot. I'm more likely to wanting to try this out for fun. Julia. Anything crazy in Julia's deck? The Aphis may not be the most standard. Silvera alongside the Morian. Okay. Very nice. So if you open up one, the Diablo could set the other. Looking good. There's the extra deck. Rujo. More toys. What's going on? The toys are in or what? I thought we all dropped the toys for using toys over Fiendsmith in this deck. Here is the extra deck. Looking good. And then let's see. The best deck in the game. We're going to speed on through it. We're only looking for the spice. Earl GB. Anything crazy with his deck? Super normal. In fact, not even playing the Millennium hype. Everyone else on Millennium, and he's chilling on this instead. Really good, really standard. And then Kindiaika. Let's see, we're on the Millennium engine here. Anything crazy beyond that? I don't see it. Extra deck, Photon Lord is cool with the Millennium engine. You either protect your plays or you go into the Fiendsmith plays. Victor Lee. Anything crazy? We got Gamma. Gamma is up in here. Everything else is looking super standard. There's the extra deck. We have Hakimo. Hakimo with the Curry Photon Millennium. Search it with your Galaxy Photon, and then you take no damage to the turn. If you're losing a Tenpai, you want to play this. And what else we got here? Standard extra deck. The Snake Eye Chase is not standard. That's pretty good. Summon a monster from the back row and place a Diablo Star monster from your hand deck or graveyard to your back row. Also working with the Snake Eye Diablo Star, not just a regular Diablo Star. Adam with a super standard deck. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Good job, Adam. And there you go. That is the event. Let's see what the tier list is looking like. Snake Eye Fiendsmith, of course, is still up there at the top. Yep. Okay, wow. Galaxy Tachyon. This is interesting. Galaxy Tachyon clapping it up. Yeah. Okay. Good job to all the Galaxy Tachyon players barely making it onto tier 3. How long can you hang on there, though? All right. Thank you very much for watching. We are out.